Done. While we're waiting, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be live in a second here. But Jesse is live with us here, and it's gonna be great. You guys are gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun, and yeah, we're here live on the Music Inferno here in a second. So let me just bring it up here. Yo, everybody! Yes, it is your boy Tight Spot JR John, whatever you want to call me. But we're live for another episode of the Music Inferno, and this week we have our friends alive in Barcelona. Well, we have one of the guys. Everybody else is doing their own thing. Everybody has day jobs, and I'll be right back. Gotta turn off the damn dog food. I knew that was gonna happen. All right, let me get that. But we are live, guys. We are live, and we have our boy Jesse on the camera here. Jesse, how you been? How's everything been? You have your new single out. What's going on, bud? How you been?
Been pretty good, man. It's been a minute. I haven't seen you since my wedding in 2017.
It's been 5 years, man. It's been 5 years. You know what's going on. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff with my wife being hospitalized for a stroke, and also just jobs and everything else. But I'm glad that you're back. You guys are back. You guys have been working on things with a lot of records and just you've been doing a lot of things differently. Management side of things, working day jobs, whatever you guys have to do. But I'm glad to have you guys here, because honestly, when I heard this new track, I'm like, damn, this needs to be heard by the world. And I've been playing it. I played it a couple times last night on the stream, telling everybody that, hey, Jesse from the band's going to be on the show tomorrow. Check him out if you guys have time. I love it. Danya loves it. But what about you? Honestly, since we haven't seen you in 5 years, but you guys have been doing so much. You have a big show coming up at the end of the month. You're releasing the EP in November. Right? November? Am I wrong?
Yeah. All that's correct, man. It's been a long few years for everybody. The whole industry, obviously, not only just bands, but your day-to-day guys, your drivers, your tech dudes, your roadies, all that shit. It's been a long few years. A lot of people have been back at it for, I don't know, at least a year now. We live in 3 different states all across the country, and so it's been a little slower for us, not being a huge band or anything, but during COVID, we were able to get people into a room together back in, I guess it probably would have actually been March or April of last year that we all got together and started tracking these songs. We flew down to Nashville in February of this year to shoot the video for Parasite that just came out, and then a couple months later, April, we shot another music video up here at home for the last song on the album, or of the EP, which is called Decay. That one comes out in November. So yeah, man, it's been nice to get back to things, because like I said, it was so slow for a while, and we didn't know what was going to happen with the band or with the music industry as a whole. So it's been nice to get back at it.
Yeah, you really didn't know. Honestly, I didn't even know. Honestly, I've been friends with you guys for a long time. I know you guys have gone through additions to the family, marriages, people graduating colleges, people traveling the country, traveling the world, and just a lot of shit. Honestly, it's cool to see you guys, grow as you guys, I've known you for over 10 years, because of Warped Tour.
Yeah, it's gotta be right about that decade mark for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, Jesse, you were just kids on Warped Tour, traveling your dreams, selling records, and now you're you still are following your dreams. If Warped Tour were still around, I bet Alive in Barcelona would be out there slinging the records or being on the tour for one reason or another. Or, if Family Values Tour or, like Rockin' the Range was like a traveling tour, you would be there. Because you guys have that sound, you guys have that rock sound, you guys have that very, rock-driven sound, and I love it. And when I heard Parasite, like, it starts off slow, but, like, boom, punches you right in the face. And it's great. And I'm happy. And like you mentioned, you have a new song coming out in November called Decay, which is gonna be great. I don't even know what it sounds like. I'm excited for it. I like the name. And it's interesting to see like where you guys are headed, and I'm glad for it. I'm happy that you guys are still around. You guys, did a lot of great stuff off the on these past songs that you had. You had Back to Life, House of Memories, Zombies, and it's been a while. I mean, honestly, you had a single in 2016. I mean, honestly, and then you had, Bad at Love in 2018, and then The Fight in 2018. But like, House of Memories. But then like Zombies was 2019, and like you said, the whole world changed. You had the album in 2019. 2020 was a bust for everybody because of the pandemic, but we're here now, refreshing ourselves, getting people going on tour, bands are coming back together, bands breaking up, but Alive in Barcelona stuck around through it all because honestly, you guys have been, best buds for a while. You guys have, had your inner band squabbles, but you squashed them. You got everything taken care of with, not really inner band squabbles, but just life decisions growing up as human beings that you guys were kids. You guys were friends for the longest time. You guys were in this, like, this band has gone through two different, forms of you guys have known each other for a long, long time. And just to see that, like, just to see that happen with a band like this, being that you guys have never been, big or, totally mainstream, but you guys have that mainstream sound. You know what I'm talking about. Like, to see that you guys have stuck around as a core group for this long time, it's great. And I'm glad to see that.
Dude. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been crazy because, like, we back in 2016 when we dropped Back to Life, that was just a single, and we had changed our sound and our name and everything. Mm-hmm. From the band that we were before, and like we used like basically 2017 and 2018 to put together the music videos and the rest of the songs, and get a great master done and all that, and then we sat around and waited for 6 months for our deal with Smart Punk to like go through. So that put us like at the beginning of 2019 when we dropped our self-titled Smart Punk debut, and then we toured from February to the very end of August, and then the day after our tour was done, myself and Colton, our bassist, and then my wife, because she had driven down to the very last day of tour because I hadn't seen her in months, and she kind of surprised me. Well, we took like a one-day trip to the coast, and we ended up getting like into a pretty bad accident, like T-boned at 65 miles an hour by some dickhead that was just pulling onto the highway and not paying attention, and so that fucked us up pretty good. And then we were like, okay, let's just chill, like we'll go back on tour, the beginning of 2020, and I believe we had, I can't remember the exact date, but I know that we were 2 days away from leaving for tour when we found out that the first show got canceled because of COVID, and then within 2 days, like the whole world shut down. So like we were all ready to go, bus already packed and everything, and then like everything just fell apart. And then for 2 years we had no idea what was going on. And then and then it was, you got like everybody's got to be. Like, we're going to come back, but everyone's got to be vaccinated, and it's only going to be half capacity, and everyone's got to wear fucking masks, and blah, 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 blah. And it was like we were just getting to the point where I was like, geez, man, there's like, we got to fucking jump through rings of fire here just to like go, do what we were doing before. On top of that, fuel's twice as expensive as it was before, and like fucking seems like half the world hates the other half of the world. So it's like we just had no idea what was going on like for a couple years, and so through that, like obviously Parasite and the other two songs on this EP are way heavier than what we had been doing before, but like ultimately that just came out of how we like what our state of mind was after all of that, like just watching people in their own families like just go at each other's throats over stupid shit like politics and a difference of opinion like is so foreign from what we're like our band is about and what we've been used to our whole lives that it was like we wanted to get all that anger and frustration out into some sort of musical form. And so you get Parasite where we've got the heaviest vocals we've ever had in this band or in the Persevering Promise version of this band. I'm cursing in the song. This is the first time we've ever had cursing in the song in over a decade of playing music together. And like, the other ones aren't like as pissed off, but they're equally as heavy in their own right, the same type of vocals and a lot heavier foundation for them. But we kind of decided to keep that as an EP for now to see, to make sure that people were going to dig it and not just like, go balls out with a full album that sounded totally different than the last one. And I think people have been digging it so far. I haven't had one person like say that we've abandoned our sound or that we, it's a different band or anything like that. And it's not like, it's still the same guys as always. We just were a little bit more pissed off about things when we went to writing this one.
Yeah, and you guys grew. You guys matured. That's what you guys got to do. I mean, honestly, if you don't mature, you'll stay stagnant and you'll just like be hurting yourselves more and more inside because you're just holding back. And I think more bands like yourselves and everyone else needs to take notice that you need to mature, you need to grow, you need to let out anger. Hell, you need to curse a little bit.
Yeah.
It lets it out, de-stresses yourself, and it's one of those things where if you don't do it, then what are you doing? You're holding back. You're holding back your talent. You're holding back something in you that you are missing. And I think everybody needed 2020 to happen, but we didn't really need it to happen in the way it happened. I think we needed a reset button, and it kind of put us in a reset button in 2020 when this whole pandemic happened, and a lot of people got hit differently. People lost their loved ones. People, lost jobs. People lost housing. But whatever, it affected everybody. You guys, intellectually in your band, you guys grew because you guys were like, you know what, fuck it. We need to let out how we felt about life, what we felt about relationships, what we felt about things that are going in our heads, maybe with Parasite a little bit, because voices inside your head could be parasitic to you, or anything really can be a parasite. It drugs, alcohol, you name it. Everything's like, you know what I'm getting at, right, Jesse? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, and like, this we approach all this different. Like, we had already started, before the pandemic, we had already had a plan to finish the tour we were doing and go, or the tour that we were supposed to do in April of that year.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to finish that up. We were going to go to LA, Matt and I were, and go see our buddy John Espy from Jumpsuit Apparatus and write some songs with him. And then we were going to fly directly to Detroit and go write songs with Landon from The Plot in You at his place. And obviously that all kind of, went to hell.
Mm-hmm.
But we were still able to do some songs remotely with Landon. And so, so Parasite is one of those songs. And, ultimately we were just super happy with how it all turned out. And yeah, I mean, we've always written. I mean, I think good songwriting is subjective. Like we've always written songs that we have personal ties to the lyrics to, but we keep it vague enough to where people can interpret it their own way, and it can be about one thing for them, and it can be about something entirely different for somebody else. I mean, ultimately, that's just good songwriting, in my opinion. So yeah, we just tried to do that. We got another one called Asphyxiate that we're announcing tomorrow, and that will actually come out next Friday. So you're hearing it here first.
Wow, I feel privileged to hear that. I mean, honestly, to know that there's a new track coming out next Friday and it's announced tomorrow on a Saturday. You're announcing it tomorrow on a Saturday?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
How did that happen?
Well, everybody announced their shit on Friday, man, and like
Oh,
if
okay.
I had my way, we wouldn't even drop new songs on Fridays. But
Yeah, it
being
used to
on
be
a label and
Tuesdays.
having a distribution company and all that stuff that takes care of that shit for us, like we're stuck to New Music Fridays, which is fine, but
Which
we
is
definitely
weird.
have
I
a
mean,
lot
I
less.
remember when I worked at FYU back in the, years ago. It was every Tuesday. Every Tuesday,
Yeah,
movies
yeah,
and CDs would come out on Tuesday. But now, like, they're like, oh, you know what? We're gonna get it Friday so people can buy the record on Friday and drive around on Saturday and Sunday and listen to it and throw their parties on Saturdays with the new record that they bought. People don't do
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
They just stream it
Well, and it's
online. They just
And
stream
I
it
mean, I get
online.
why they do it. It's like, you go Friday, like the reason everyone drops on Friday is because you have to report by the following Thursday
Yeah.
for first week sales. So,
Yeah.
like you don't want to drop it on a Saturday or a Wednesday. Like if you dropped it on a Wednesday, you'd have 2 days worth of streams and sales to report.
Yeah.
Uh, for us, like we're not touring at the moment, so we
Yeah.
don't really care so much about
Yeah.
that. And like unless we're in people's faces physically to sell them albums, then our first week sales are not really that important when it comes to that. It's all about streaming at that point. So yeah, we're ultimately the reason we're not announcing today and we're announcing tomorrow is because our graphic design guy was out of town and he's working on the shit right now. So he'll have him to me tonight and we'll just announce it tomorrow.
It's
Plus,
cool.
Plus, tomorrow, John, is 9 years since our old band dropped an Illusion in Shambles, which was our first full length record. So it just kind of worked out that way that it happened to fall on the same day anyway.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, yeah, dude, that's insane. 9 years ago. Yeah, we've known each other 10 years. I think it's been 10 years. Nine. Boom! Right there, ladies and gentlemen. Parasite by Alive in Barcelona. And we are back with our boy Jesse. Jesse grabbed a drink. He's parched. He had a long day at work. But you know what?
Yep.
And I'm going to about to have a long day at work. Well, about 8 hours. And then come home. Play some more video games right here on Twitch. Like I always do, because that's what I got to do. I got to play video games. I got to get New Music Inferno back on the airways like we are. And bring back Tight Spots Lounge, which is rocking it next Friday. Saturday morning, 2 a.m., 5 a.m. Eastern. We're talking about Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, I can't even speak right now. Little Shop of Horrors next week. Tune in for that, guys, if you guys don't know what that is. It's another podcast I do with my friend Knack Attack on here where we review movies and have a good time like we always do, like we used to do in New Music Inferno. Jesse, favorite moment of this song right now?
Favorite moment of this song?
Yeah,
I was waiting for the punchline there. That was
favorite moment
question.
of this song project that you know, with this project, this song of Parasite. Like, what was your favorite moment when you guys came up with this song? Like, I don't know. It's a weird question. I just thought of it because I was like, you know what?
I mean, it's gotta be the breakdown, dude. Like, I definitely did something different with my voice, something I hadn't really done before. Because it's more of like, it's not just like screaming or singing. It's kind of like somewhere between. Which, that part I've done, but how raw and gritty it gets in the build up to the breakdown is like something new for me, and I was really stoked on how it came out. Like sometimes I still get goosebumps listening to my own shit, so it's dope. That's my favorite part of it, and I mean that's just what makes the song. It's the climax of the song, and then we get to chill back out a little bit and kind of we start somewhere, build up, and then go back to where we started. So I just think it's a full 360 on the song. Definitely,
and it is, and it's in it's where you guys have gone and the people that you've worked with throughout the years. I mean, honestly, it's crazy to see that these kids from Idaho and Seattle, that the Washington State area, and a kid from Ohio. Right? Am I right? Ohio? Am I wrong? That's where.
Yeah. Cameron's in Ohio. Yeah. Matt's in Parker, Colorado, and then myself and Colton and Chase are all in Spokane, Washington.
Yeah, that's right. You originated from Coeur d'Alene, right? Am I not?
Coeur d'Alene, yeah.
Yeah, Coeur d'Alene.
No, we're technically Moscow, but that's like 90 minutes away.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when you mentioned Moscow before, like, yeah, we're originally from Moscow, but you know what? No one knows where Moscow, Idaho is. Everybody thinks when you say Moscow, you think Russia, but right. Idaho is like the U.S. version of Russia, because it's just like, hey, here's Moscow, like. But the real question was the favorite since New Music Inferno has been in your life for a while. Since we've been friends, your favorite moment of knowing me and New Music Inferno? Like, I want to know from you, Jesse. Like, what was your favorite moment of knowing New Music Inferno from the beginning? Because basically, you guys have known it. Go ahead.
Probably having you and the wife at my wedding, dude. That was definitely a good time. I think we all went pretty damn hard that weekend. It was the middle of July and it was 120 degrees, but
Walking Fremont and hanging out with Elbin during Warped Tour was my favorite. And I love Elbin. I'm glad that Elbin is doing music and doing his own thing and switching it up. And you guys did the same thing too. I mean, honestly, you guys grew up. You guys got heavier. You guys, like we mentioned it throughout the fucking show. But that's the point. I even changed. Hell, this used to be just voice. Me with a microphone, you on the phone, or whatever.
Yeah.
But now it's video. And now you guys can see who we're talking to. And Jesse, I know no one's in the chat because it's middle of the afternoon. But people are going to come in later on watch this YouTube video and watch it on Twitch and be like, how does this guy get a beard like that, and what does he do to take good care of it?
Oh yeah, I don't do shit, man. It just grows in all fucking white trashy like that.
It's not white trashy.
No, I know. It was a Joe. It was a Joe Dirt reference.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nah, it just grows like crazy, man. I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the thing that when I first met you, you were clean shaven. You were just like a punk rock kid on a Warped Tour. You know, not really punk rock, but you know what I meant. Like the punk rock name can mean a lot of different things, but you know, for the true punkers like punk rock bullying and all that, that's punk rock. What I'm going to ask you is right now, what are you listening to? What is Jesse from Alive in Barcelona listening into?
Dude, I listen to more podcasts than anything else, dude. I like.
That's
there
cool.
Was a moment there. There was a moment where I like didn't listen to music at all for like a whole year. I didn't listen to shit. And I mean, obviously, that was all in the pandemic. Like for the first year, I didn't even touch my guitar either.
It made you hate it. It made you hate it because you were stuck inside and you didn't want to do anything. I mean,
yeah,
honestly,
I just didn't understand what the purpose was. Like, I had one goal and one drive and one vision for, you know, for fucking 10 years and toured for 10 years, at least 6 months out of those 6 months out of the year, each of those years. And so I just didn't know what to do with myself. But, anyway, I listen to more podcasts than anything else, a lot of audiobooks, but now that I am, like, back into the grind with music, like, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that I listen to, but I've always been geared more towards heavier bands. You know, I mean, obviously, just like everybody else, I've been listening to a lot of the new Polyphia record, because that's just fucking killer. Plenty, Intervals, Always Periphery, you know, Architects is still one of my favorite bands. As I Lay Dying is still one of my favorite bands. But yeah, man, I've been listening to all kinds of stuff like that. There's this prog metal, like gent band that is like just bass players.
wow.
The strings called The Omnific, and those guys have been like kind of blowing my mind recently. I still have yet to decide if it's actually instruments or if they're just like bouncing their guitar profiles, but either way, it sounds pretty dope. So
it just sounds like a very interesting concept of a band just made of bassists.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously there's a drummer and stuff too, but like instead of having like a lead guitar and a rhythm guitar, I think it's just a drummer and two bass players, or you know, one guy programming the drums and then two bass players playing over it. But it sounds dope. It sounds cool, and it's definitely it's something new.
That's cool, though. I mean, honestly, I agree. I mean, with New Music Inferno, with the pandemic, and just, like, I took a break from it. Like, I was like, it goes back to the pandemic. It was like, why do I do want to know music. I do want to, you know, talk to people about it, but it's like, what's the point when people are going to find it anyway? Because people are going to... Like, it was like, if I did the podcast, it would oversaturate the market already because the music was already coming out for people. Because they're working at it, they're staying at home. And all the musicians weren't really doing interviews. They were just, you know, doing live streams. They were doing live streams for the people. So, they weren't doing journalists. They weren't doing podcasts. People were just doing whatever they were doing to get the music out. And
well, dude, I had just launched my, like, I had just become a host on a podcast myself, like a music business podcast for my management side of shit, and like I got like 3 episodes in before the pandemic, and then like, you know, I was managing probably half a dozen bands at the time,
you were.
And like I kind of stopped doing all of that shit all at once because I just, you know, as I told the, you know, I kept the bands I really cared about. But like all the other clients, I kind of had to tell them, like, dude, we're in this storm right now, and I have no idea where I'm captaining this ship to anymore. Yeah. So, like, why would I do that? You know, like, I'm not gonna fucking sail us to the end of the earth without having any idea of where we're going.
Yeah.
You can't captain a ship if you're not sure where it's headed. Is basically what I'm getting at. So, it was definitely crazy for a while there. I mean, I'm super glad we're past that. As far as management goes, like I've only got 2 clients that I work with right now because they're pretty much a full time deal aside from what I got going on personally, and that's Scarlett O'Hara and a Skylit Drive, and that's awesome because like I remember when I was working at Hot Topic when I was like fucking 17 years old. I used to sell Scarlett O'Hara records, and
Yeah.
I obviously listened to a Skylit Drive growing up, like every other scene kid.
Yeah.
So having the opportunity to work with both those bands has been great, and like with Scarlett, we've dropped I think 5 singles total in the 2 years I've been working with them, and like 3 of them have gone top 20 on Billboard. So it's
and to see that a band like a Skylight Drive is still around. I mean, with everything like musically in the scene and how the scene is, it's not dead, but there's still bands that are thriving, and like to see that they're still thriving through record deals and all this other shit that they've gone through and life-changing events that they've had in with the band, and just the history of Skylit Drive. I mean, honestly, I've known them for a while, and to see Jag and all the boys still doing it, or the new guys or whoever they come, it's so hard to keep up with things like that sometimes because life gets in the way. But to see that they're still doing things and they're working hard and trying to get back and go out and tour and do tours and whatever else they're trying to do, it's great. And that's awesome that you get to work with 2 bands that you as a kid listened to, and now you get to working them with as an adult. And
well, that just goes to show you, man. Like from hustling CDs at Warped Tour, fucking over 10 years ago to
comes full circle.
The whole time, like I've got to do some pretty cool shit. Like, yeah, it's been awesome, man. It's been a crazy last couple of years, and
I mean, next year's my 10-year anniversary of being on Warped Tour for 10 days. So,
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
2013, man, 2013. And I will always remember me being drunk and being on Warped Roadies in the one end credit scene where Beebs and Josh are helping to raise money for Alvarez King's lead singer. Remember that? Like the situation with him being in Toronto, he couldn't cross borders because he was stuck in Toronto. Like, yeah,
I do.
With the passport and shit. Like, I was completely...
There was always something like that going on every day at Warped Tour, though.
Yeah, it was like passports or just random shit that was going on. But Jesse, I don't want to keep you much longer because I know you got to go. It's Friday. You got to go hang out with the wife and have dinner.
Yeah, I just heard her walk in the door, so probably...
Yeah, good. Well, send my love to them. And the rest of the guys as well. I know they're probably doing their own thing. I know Cameron's probably reading a book or being a doctor or whatever the hell he's doing. And the rest of the guys.
He's actually got his doctorate now, and he's working for Epic Games. So they're working on the new season of Fortnite, which is supposed to come out like on Sunday or some shit.
Fuck you, Cameron. I love you. If you ever watch this. But yeah, I do play Fortnite a little bit. I do have an Epic code, so if you guys want to help me, I will put the creator code in the chat, guys. Creator code. I think it's ! Creator code. Yes, 3316TRS. Boom. There you go. That's my creator code. Just use that if you guys use anything on Epic. I know Fall Guys new season came out today. Today or last night? Yeah, yesterday. I don't remember when. I was playing some of it last night with a friend over in Japan. But Jesse, real quick before you leave, tell everybody where they can find you guys on the World Wide Web and anything else you want to say to the people out there.
I mean, obviously Google's your best friend, but like you can find our music literally anywhere that they stream music, Spotify, Apple, Deezer, whatever it is that kids are using these days. You can get it. You can buy physical copies too, Amazon, And then, of course, AliveInBarcelona.com is probably the central hub for everything, including merch and news and all that stuff.
Definitely. And
we got it all, man. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever.
Definitely. And guys, don't forget to pick up tickets for their show happening at the end of the month. And where's that show happening at for everybody out there?
September 30th, Spokane, Washington at the Big Dipper.
Boom. Get tickets. Big Dipper. And, all right, Jesse, have a good one. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Everybody go check out their new single, Parasite. We're going to end it with that. We're going to take it out right now. And we'll see you guys later on tonight when I play some whatever I just had to play. But here it again is Parasite, and we'll see you all later.
Adios, man.
Peace. Oops. Let me get back. That's the wrong song. That's how I do it here. Screw it. Hold on. Boom. Boom.
I'm standing in the way, I can't stand it anymore. Time to walk away, hit the lights and lock the door. You're dead to me, I'm dead to you. I gave you everything, there's nothing left to lose. Take my life because there's nothing there. All these pointless fights always go nowhere. They get to me, they get to you. I gave you everything. Strike a match and light the sound of the walls around you. 'Cause of all that you put me through. Say goodbye to the days that I would die for you. Don't waste your breath, don't waste away all the tears and years of pain. I'd rather die than trust you.